What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Auto Auction Rebuilds. Today we're back to talk about a couple of things that happened recently, including my shop getting run into, and also, by the way, we found out who it was, and also somebody got under the hood of one of my cars and ripped the wires out of it. So we're going to go outside and I'm going to show you the wires that got ripped out. I'm actually very upset about that. And to the people that say I need cameras, guys, I actually have I have like 4 cameras around, 5 actually total. I have 5 cameras around this property. But apparently, I don't have enough. So I'm going to buy more cameras, and we're going to install more cameras just to make sure when things happen, if things happen in the future, that we're able to capture them. And if nothing else, I can get some content out of it and hopefully catch people that are doing things they shouldn't be doing. Now, you see this Maserati here? I've been thinking about this car a lot lately. And no, it's not because it's literally taking up a third of my shop. Monkey Wrench Mike. No, I'm joking. I told Mike it can stay here. It's fine. It's not hurting anything. Honest to God, I'm just making jokes here. But I have been thinking about this car a lot lately because I've kind of taken it on as a personal challenge. Mike and I both, and Nick even, have spent quite a bit of time wrenching on this car. I came out here the other day. I'm not going to give too much away, but I came out here the other day and Mike said that there's an RF hub module that apparently is not functioning, and I asked him where it was, and with the help of a subscriber, we were told that it's on that shelf back there. Well, I found it. I had to take out this whole centerpiece. You have to unbolt it from under the trunk and just ignore my wiring mess there. That's fine. We found the RF hub. It sits, let's see if I can get you in there. It sits right there. That big thing of wires with an antenna. That is it. So I was able to get into the computer system and find some interesting things. So I went out and I bought something to try to help Monkey Wrench Mike out with his endeavor here. And I'm going to show you guys what it is. Some of you might know what it is, but I bet a lot of you don't. This is a new computer. Cost me around $500 for all the little accessories that I needed to go with it. But take a look at this. You know what this is? This is a universal smart key. Never heard of one? Me neither, until I started doing some research on YouTube, and I found this. Not just 1, 2. Now, think of these like a universal remote control. You remember back in the day, this is how old I am, back in the day you'd buy a universal remote control for your TV or your VCR, and you had to go through the codes. Back in the old days, there was a book that had about 150 codes, and you had to go through one at a time and see if it worked, and again, and work. And then they got smart, and they had the remote controls where you could just push a couple buttons, and it would find the code itself. And when it found the one that worked, boom, it was ready to go. Well, think of this as a universal remote. This is dangerous, is what this is. I'm going to have to do a separate video on this later. But this is dangerous because anybody can buy these, and it comes with the keys. These are literally universal keys. Even though they may not look like your key, let me tell you, this key can start, unlock, do everything to almost every car out on the road today. Okay, and here we've got a little dongle. This is with a little flashlight, which I think is cool because you can never see the OBD2 port, right? Well, now you can. Plug it in. You got some wires, and then the star of the show is this bad boy right here. This, if I can get it out of the box, this is crazy. This is the new Autel. Well, it's not new, I guess. It's a Maxi IM KM100X. Yep, there she is. So, you guys see where I'm going with this? Do you see where I'm going with this? Where I'm going with this is, this will also test your existing keys. It can clone existing keys. This is a crazy, I mean, insanely crazy powerful tool that could be used for evil if somebody so wanted to. So I think you guys get where I'm going with this whole thing. When we've got keys that can be programmed to any car, and then you can reprogram them to a different car again. We have all the tools. I'm wondering if we don't program a key to this car, maybe we could get this car to fire up. And then of course you see the blue staying in here. I call this one Seahorse. That's just the little nickname I gave it because it was severely underwater, and it's kind of a miracle it runs. Unfortunately, aside from doing a 10-mile run, we haven't been able to drive it. The alternator's overcharging at like 18 volts. That's no good. I can't drive it that way. And the front brakes are incredibly bad. The rotors are so warped it's undrivable. So I've got some rotors and some new brake pads. Unfortunately, I think somebody swapped out the front rotors with ones out of a Cobra, because those rotors, they don't look like they're going to fit. But anyway, we're going to get to a video soon coming in here, pulling out the supercharger. We're going to take out the alternator, which requires taking off everything on the front of the engine here. Take the supercharger out, get the alternator out, replace it. I've got a new one over here. Hopefully we can get the brakes figured out as well. And then I'm hoping I can actually use this car to drive around a little bit. I want to enjoy it. I really do. And then I got to decide if this is one that I'm going to keep or if I'm going to sell, because I'm not going to tell you what exactly I found, but I found a pretty unique Mustang. I'll just leave it at that. It's probably one that you've never seen, and most people could never get their hands on it. It's not something that the general public is going to be able to get their hands on. Next, I wanted to talk about, well, let's go ahead and just address the damage over here. This is the one that's just, yeah, this one bothers me, but it is what it is, you know. Nothing I can do about it at this point. Right here, right? So as it turns out, this damage was done by the neighbor's son who crashed. And I'm hoping he's okay. I haven't heard anything back, but as it turns out, there was a letter left on my front porch. I was not aware of it when I made the video. So I was going through the security cameras and I was trying to see if there was any footage of what happened. And what I saw was my neighbor's truck pull up in my front yard right here. They pulled up, the grandmother came out and she put a note right in front of my camera right here. Unfortunately, I didn't see the note. It had blown off and it was in the yard. They did leave a note. They gave me every contact phone number imaginable. They said they were sorry. I have not called them back yet. Honestly, I've been far too busy with everything else going on. I have not had time to deal with that yet, but I contacted my godfather who built the shop. He said he'd come out here and fix it for about $600 if I bought him lunch. So I think that's just the route I'm going to go. They don't need to be worried about, you know, trying to pay for it or any of that stuff, man. I'll take care of it. I just hope the kid's okay. Next, somebody came out here and ripped the wires out from under the hood of my car. So there's a story to this one. I didn't realize it, but the alarm on this has a nasty habit of going off, apparently, whenever you're not around. When I'm not around, nobody's home, the alarm goes off. Well, apparently the alarm went off and somebody came over here. They opened the hood, so that means they got into the car. They opened the hood and they ripped these wires completely out. Like, this is not like they cut the wires in a nice, tidy manner where I could reconnect them. No, they literally ripped the wires out of the horn here, of this alarm horn. Yep. Now, yes, if I decided to take it apart, I could probably put it all back together again. But I'm just kind of wondering, like, who does that? Who comes onto somebody's property, gets into their car, opens their hood, and then takes the wires and literally just rips them? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. If somebody's car alarm was going off in the middle of the night bothering me, yeah, I'd be annoyed. And maybe you make a phone call to the police department or something to try to get somebody out here and try to get it figured out. But never in a million years would I ever go onto somebody's property, get into their vehicle, and actually damage something. And if, let's just say I was the type of person to do something like that, and I'm not, but if I was, I would have disconnected the battery. If you've got time to get under the hood and rip my wires out, how hard would it have been? Just the negative cable's right here, guys. How hard would it have been to have just disconnected the negative cable and left it alone? Or if you just had to cut the wires, how about instead of grabbing it and ripping my wires out and stretching you've pulled them out from under the dashboard as well. How about instead of ripping my wires out, what if you had just taken some cutters and just cut one of the wires? Look, you can see, here's where they were. You could clearly see the wires. You could have easily come in here and just clipped a negative wire. Been nice and easy. It would have been easy for me to repair later on. And even though I'd have been upset that somebody came on my property and messed around my cars, I would have understood that because the thing was sitting there blaring. So Here's the deal. I don't have any footage of it because apparently I don't have enough cameras. Now, I thought 5 cameras was plenty. I'm not going to go through and show you where they're all at, but apparently I'm going to need to order some more, which absolutely sucks. These cameras are not cheap. I've had a lot of people saying, just install new cameras, Randy. Well, that's great, guys, except the cameras I've already installed have cost me like $500. And the new cameras that I'm about to install, in addition to the ones that are already here, are going to cost me another $400. So there's almost $1,000 in cameras. And the best part is great. I put cameras up wherever I choose to put them. I'm going to figure that out. I'm going to put them in very strategic locations. But I put the cameras up, and then what? Great, I have footage. I would have footage of somebody crashing. I can have footage of somebody getting into my shop. I can have footage of all of the cars, which is a big problem right now because the cars that sit on the end here, there's not really a view of these, which means I need to add another camera over here where it can oversee all of these cars. I need to be able to oversee all of those cars out there. Plus, I need to see the cars that are in front. So, great. You've got cameras. Now what? All right, you see somebody. They come over and they mess with your car. What are you going to do? Like you're an hour from home. What are you gonna do? Call the police? All right, call the police. Then what? You're gonna make a report? What's a report gonna say? Somebody wearing like a red shirt and blue jeans driving a blue car, came up and ripped the wires out from under. You know what I mean? It's just, it's a thing of, it leaves me thinking, do I need more cameras or should I be thinking about changing locations? I've never had any problems here before. But it just seems like when people have the balls to come up into another man's yard, get into his car and rip some wires out from under his hood, that's a problem. You know what I mean? That's a problem. Now, maybe it was 4 o'clock in the morning and it was keeping you awake, and you did what you did. What I would have respected would have been if you put a note, but then again, I guess it could have blown away, right? Note could have blown away. I don't know, but if you could have left a note and at least said, hey, I did this, I'm sorry, I was trying to sleep, and nope, I wouldn't have been happy about it. I'd have been like, all right, at least we know. At this point, I don't know who did it, and I don't think they left a note. You know what I mean? Who's going to vandalize somebody's vehicle and then leave a note telling them that they vandalized the vehicle? Exactly, nobody. So I am thinking this house has really started to fall into disrepair. And it's got me thinking a lot lately of maybe, I don't know. There's a lot that I'm thinking. Part of it is with the blood pressure, and we checked it again today, it's even higher. I'm at 140/96. It seems like it's not getting better, and I'm just gonna have to go to the doctor. We're gonna have to get a handle on that. I got to get the blood pressure figured out. Obviously, it's a big deal. But this place stresses me out. These cars stress me out. And that's without any other drama. Like these cars it's super stressful to own all of these cars, trying to keep an eye on everything, trying to see if people are coming on your property. I saw on video the other day, I saw a guy pull up out here. He started just looking through my cars. He pulled up in a van. I mean, he was a nice dressed guy. He was driving a nice looking van. I don't think he was out here to damage, vandalize anything. But it's just, the guy literally came out here and he spent 15, 20 minutes just peeking through the cars, opening doors, looking through. So I'm going to have to start locking everything out here. And it never used to be that way. It never used to be that way. And now you got people coming out here messing with your stuff. So it's got me really considering the possibility, not right now, but maybe all that talk I was talking about retiring, maybe that wasn't so silly. Maybe it is time to slow it down and step back. I don't know. This is something new for you guys. This is way too new for me to even be showing this to you right now, but there it is. I'm going to let you guys just guess what the hell I bought this for. You'll never figure it out. I don't think. I don't think you'll ever figure it out. But yep, a good old, very wrecked, possibly rolled Chevy Blazer. I haven't done anything to this. It got dropped off here, and that's it, man. It's just, yeah. I took the 57 out for a nice ride today. We did about 45 miles in it. I take it out every chance I get out here. I love the car. I really do. I love this car. Got to get the paint refreshed on it, or I'm not going to be happy with it. I think once we get a decent paint job on it, I'm going to be super stoked about this car. And I'd love to get that hood to where it closes right and the gaps are right. All right, so let's go back into the garage. I got a ton of cars. I got a lot of work to do. And let's go over the last of the things that I want to talk about in this video. It has been a very rough couple of weeks, and I'm not making this video to be like a Debbie Downer or anything. Not at all, because I'm facing like this crossroads in my life here, and I'm trying to decide what the best thing for me is, and I keep going back and forth with just quit YouTube, man. I've set myself up. I said in the last video, so I'm not going to go through the whole spiel again, but I've set myself up in such a way where YouTube could disappear tomorrow. And no, I wouldn't live the same kind of life I'm living today, but I'm not going to be broke. I'm not going to be homeless either. I've got ad revenue coming in from multiple revenue streams, which is the smart thing to do. It's called syndicating. I've already done that. So there's other revenue streams coming in. So I don't want to quit YouTube. And that's the crossroads, I guess, is I'm stressed beyond belief. Another thing that happened today, this is great. So for like the last 2 weeks, I've been fighting trying to get this 66 Impala that I bought, which was yet another amazing car, I think. This car is going to blow you away. But I just got some bad news about it. So, you know, I love what I do. Like, yeah, YouTube, the money is great. It's wonderful. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, the money doesn't matter. Of course the money matters. Money always matters. But I never did YouTube because I was going to make a lot of money. All right. I go back to when I was doing YouTube in the beginning. All my videos in the beginning were just showing things that I've got or trying to help people fix problems. That's what I started YouTube for way back in the day before it was ever a car channel. So eventually it became a way of making money. And then it's like, oh, well, talk about a cherry on top. I was making videos just to make videos to help people. But then you find out you can actually make money doing it. And then it's like, well, I want to do more and I want to make more and be able to help people while making money. It's a great idea. The problem is that idea is a fantasy, man. It rarely does it last. And you will find yourself trying to come up with every idea in the world to make a video that's going to be the next big one. You know, that next big video. I've been very fortunate. I have made several videos that have crossed over 1 million views. I can't even believe that anybody would watch me. Like that many people would watch me make videos. Most of my videos do pretty average, and there's nothing glorifying about it at all. There's nothing really exciting about it, but an average video beats no video at all. So I'm at a point now where it's like, I want to make videos. I love being out here. I love tearing into these old cars. I love these flood cars. These flood cars have been so much fun. It's like reinvigorated my spirit, man, where it's like, can we get these things to run? I'm having a blast doing it. The problem is that's where the fun ends. There is so much stress behind the scenes that most people never see and most people probably don't care about, like the 66 Impala. It's been 2 weeks. I paid this company money and the order got canceled over and over again. And then like somebody else picks it up, but then the order gets canceled again and again. Then it gets to the point where Copart is charging me between $30 and $50 a day in storage fees on this car, which leaves me trying to figure out if I have to pack up and travel to Florida to go drag this car home that I already paid somebody to ship. It's a major headache. The logistics of getting these cars from all over the country and bringing them here, major, major headache. Getting the cars here, finding that parts are missing. Getting the cars here and finding that there's damage that wasn't there before, and there's no recourse from on my end. There's nothing I can do about it. If a car arrives damaged, there's nothing I can do about it, which brings me to my next big stressor, which is the 66 Impala SS, which I don't think is an SS, but it doesn't matter. It's still it was a magnificent car. The photos that I saw of the car, I did not realize this until today. The shipping company called me. They have my 66 Impala. It's coming. It's on its way here. The guy said he might be here tonight or tomorrow. And this is like the second most exciting part of getting a new car. Buying it, bidding on it, and winning it on Copart or IA, that's exciting. You get your adrenaline pumping. Am I going to be the high bidder? Bid, bid, bid. You know, that's fun. And then it's like, when it finally gets here, it's like, what did I get? There's so much unknown. It makes it so exciting. Really gets the blood pressure up, probably. Well, this is great, guys, because I shouldn't even be telling you this now. The shipping company called and he said, hey, do you need to be there for me to drop this car off? I said, nah, don't even worry about it, man. I try to make it as easy on these shipping companies as possible. Just bring it whenever you want, drop it off, just keep it away from the road. And there's this particular place where I want the keys kept. And that's it. The guy's like, cool. He said, it used to be a nice car. And I was like, huh? He's like, yeah, he said it got broken at Copart, is what he told me. I haven't seen the car. I don't know what he's talking about. But he said, at least the frame is good. At least the frame is good. Wait a minute. What? I just paid $14,000 for this car. What do you mean, at least the frame is good? So I said, what do you mean? I said, it got damaged at Copart? He's like, yeah. He said the fork loaders, the forklifts damaged. He said there's broken pipes and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, no, man. No, there's not. Please tell me there's not. He said that the car is in incredibly bad shape. So I go back to the photos from the listing and I look at them and I realize something. That car had been for sale, and I knew this, but it never clicked. That car had been for sale on Copart Go for 3 years. 3 years. They couldn't sell it. So I bought it. Here's the best part. It's not a flood car. I want to make that clear. Not a flood car. No, at least it wasn't a flood car 3 years ago. It was listed with a clean title. It was listed as just non-runner. And there's a big story behind this car. It was on TV. It was on several episodes of a show on television. It was a barn find. And then after the show, they were done with it, they did a lot of work to it. They put it back and it became a barn find again because for the last 9 years it hasn't moved. So it doesn't run. So now I thought, how fun to bring a non-running barn find to the channel that was a non-running barn find before, but then it was on television where they put all this money into it. It's got a really, really rare engine under the hood. This is perfect for the channel. Yeah. Well, the guy told me that the car is in really bad shape. And then it clicked. I can't believe I didn't think about this before. 3 years ago, they had the car listed on Copart, and I used AutoAstat.com to track the sales history, the previous bids. They listed that car over and over and over and over again for 3 years. Nobody bought it. The pictures of the car that I bid on, those pictures are 3 years old. There's been a hurricane or two down there since those pictures were taken. Yep. And I looked at the title. Since I own the car now, I have the title. I was able to look at the title and see where it came from. Just east of Tampa. You guys smelling what I'm stepping in? It was just outside of Tampa. In case you guys don't know, Hurricane Milton, I already checked the town that it came from. It's bad. They got hit bad. So I think, and I could be jumping to conclusions here. I really shouldn't even be talking about this yet because I don't know. But I think this car was in a hurricane and it wasn't disclosed. And the damage from the hurricane was not disclosed. They used pictures from 3 years ago of a car that was in really good shape. And what I'm getting tonight or tomorrow is probably going to be something horrible. The best part is it's in an enclosed trailer. The guy was nice enough to bring it in an enclosed trailer. He told me he was sorry. He was a really nice guy. He said he was sorry. He said, but I've got it in an enclosed trailer, so at least nothing else will happen to it. And I was like, kind of almost makes you want to just, you know, and these are the stressors. These are the behind the scenes stresses that, you know, nobody gets to see. Nobody knows about these, and you shouldn't have to worry about it. You know, it's a video. It's entertaining. It's not supposed to be like, oh, life is horrible. No, man, life is good. Life is great. It's just got me, my health is really I've dealt with stress my whole life, and I'm really good at it. I'm really good at handling stress. But apparently something's going on with me lately, and the stress, I'm not handling it so well. I've got this really high blood pressure, and if I don't do something about it, I'm probably not going to be around to make you guys more videos. So I got to figure out a way of limiting the stress. I got to lower the stress level. And ultimately, I just want you guys to know, if it comes down to my health or making YouTube videos, you know, man, I love all of you that stick around and watch my content. We're about to hit 500,000 subscribers, man. 500,000. It's coming like this month. I think we'll hit it this month. The last thing I want to do is have to walk away after building such a successful channel. But I am not going to, I'm no pun, pun intended. I'm dead serious about this. I am not going to die for YouTube. I'm not going to die for the love of money. I got more important things in life than money. I'm going to tell you something right now. I've been flat broke. I mean, a lot of people don't know my history, but I'm just going to throw this one little snippet out for you guys. There was a time, I mean, I was homeless. I've been homeless a few times in my life, but there was a time I was homeless, and I found a place in Oklahoma City on 23rd and Martin Luther King, rented out by this horrible company that rents out basically to desperate people. It was a house right off 23rd and Martin Luther King that had been on fire. There was a pretty big fire in that house, but I didn't have anywhere to live. Also had a girl and kids, and we rented that house for like $100 a month. And in return for the cheap rent, they would provide you with materials to do the work. We spent Christmas in a house with no electricity. We had to board off the entire kitchen because that is what was on fire. I couldn't fix that. It was not within my skill set to fix it. I had to board off the whole kitchen and pretend it wasn't even part of the house. And then we got robbed. This is in a really bad neighborhood. And then the police, when they showed up, the police asked why we were living in that neighborhood, because we're white. And I was like, whoa. You know, that's one just little snippet. What I'm trying to say is, I have been so broke that I had to live in a burnt down house. I've been so broke that I have lived in a tent at a lake. I have been very poor in my life, and it was a bad experience. And anybody that tells you that money don't mean nothing, well, man. Yeah, it does though. It does. But at the end of the day, it's important to remember, you know, where you came from, and you survived all of those times. And if you can survive those times, you can survive anything. So the money can go. It can kick rocks. I'm not saying that I won't miss it, and I wouldn't miss being able to do the things I do. I would, obviously. But my health is more important than any of this, man. Any of this. So crossing my fingers that things are hopefully going to get a little easier. But it's things like this that aren't helping. You know, being told that this car is in remarkably bad condition when the pictures looked great. The pictures looked really good. I mean, the car looked really good in the pictures, other than I didn't care for the color. The rest of it, I was like, this should be like a super easy bring it back to life type of thing, and enjoy it. Take it, send it, get some fresh paint, you know, a new color, make this thing really, really rock, you know. And now I'm being told, well, at least the frame is good. Great. The best part of that is there's really no recourse on my part. I can make some phone calls, but honestly, it's in the terms of service that it's as is where is. And pictures are for like representation purposes only. You don't rely on the pictures to show you what the actual car is going to look like. And once it leaves the yard, it's done. Like so we'll see. I'm just saying there's a lot going on behind the scenes here. I've got a lot of stuff that I'm working on. I'm trying to help Monkey Wrench Mike with his car. I've got all my own cars. I got a transmission that I need to be pulling soon. I've got vintage air conditioning that I got to put in the 57. I've got an alternator and a supercharger to pull on this car. I've got an interior to put back on the 98 Mitsubishi Eclipse. I got a lot of cars, and I'm actually still trying to buy more. So this has become a much bigger business than I ever expected it to be. And I'm thankful to all of you that watch the videos and follow along seriously, because without you, none of this would even be possible. So I want to give a big shout out and thank you to all of you for, you know, allowing me to do what I do, because I really do enjoy it. But the stress behind it is just getting to be a little too much. So it's got me trying to rethink how I'm doing business. Maybe I should be doing things a different way. Maybe since I'm a dealer, I should be buying from more reputable places. I don't want to say more reputable places, but like Mannheim or ACV auctions, maybe local auctions, you know, where you can see the cars in person. You know they're going to get delivered when they're supposed to be delivered. The fees don't kill you, you know, where you're more likely to get what you paid for. Because this whole thing has just been stressing me out. With that, I am going to get out of here, guys. I don't want this video to be like a Debbie Downer. I don't want people to be all negative or anything. You know, seriously, like, I'm happy and I love what I do. Making these videos is like, this is who it's a lot of work, but I mean, who doesn't love going out and wrenching on a bunch of old American cars? You know, old American V8s, manual transmissions, being able to take these things out, whipping them around. You know, the Dale Jr. car, having these really unique and cool cars. Like, I love this. I really do. It's just, there's a lot of crap going on behind the scenes that is just, it's making it not so fun anymore. And then having to add security cameras to the house that, you know, seriously, why don't people just leave things alone? If it's not yours, don't mess with it. You know what I mean? Just leave my stuff alone. But, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I've considered possibly building an entire privacy fence around this whole place. It's about an acre. I could put a giant privacy fence around this whole place with like a big automatic gate, you know, where I push a button and the gate opens and it gives me plenty of room to get in and get out. That's an idea, but I know how much it costs to put a good fence around an acre of land. I paid $20,000 to have a fence made out of pine put up at my other property. So I don't really know that I want to spend $20,000 to put a privacy fence up. I am going to add more cameras. And, you know, if we keep having problems, I'll figure it out. With that, I am going to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the video. Lots of different things, kind of a vlog style talking head video going on here. I got a lot more videos coming, so stick with me. If you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button. Be sure to drop those comments below. And until next time, stay safe out there, everybody. I look forward to seeing you all again very soon in the next one.